ever drop your phone? Ever drop your iPhone into I don't know, the toilet or into a puddle of water? Just how water resistant are these phones? Well, it might depend on whether you're looking at the marketing claims or the warranty from the same company. Now, Apple has been hit with a splashy legal issue involving its iPhone's liquid contact warranty. Now, the tech giant's ads and marketing boast that iPhones are water resistant with promises that it can handle spills, splashes, maybe even a quick dip. But there's a twist. The Apple warranty, surprising fine print that seems to contradict these claims. Joey Zukran, class action attorney, is on the case, and he joins us on the line. Hi, Joey. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm looking at your website here about this proposed class action lawsuit. You got images of Tim Cook and Phil Schiller, and they're doing their big splashy Apple events, and they got images behind them of iPhones being drenched with water and all of this stuff. But tell us about the crux of this lawsuit and the differences between marketing and warranties.
So, yeah, you nailed it. So our client is a 19-year-old CEGEP student from Vanier who obviously, can't afford to easily buy a brand new $1,500 iPhone. She was in Mexico with some friends, and her phone came into light contact with water by the pool. So it didn't fall in the pool, and it didn't go through a car wash like some of the pictures you see on our website that we take from Apple's launch events. Mm-hmm. It just, came into a bit of contact with water. It immediately stopped working. Her phone was purchased brand new 8 months ago. So she goes to the Apple store and she says, hi, my phone doesn't work. And they obviously within a few seconds pull out a little pin, a little light and say, your liquid contact indicator is red. And therefore you're under the liquid contact exclusion. So the warranty says that it does not apply to liquid contact, which is completely ridiculous when you look at the marketing that Apple uses, and we've displayed all of them that have been published over the years. So you see a phone falling to the bottom of the pool, beer jug, or pictures, spilling the phone, and one that even says "oops resistant," where there's pictures of wine and hot coffee. So explain to the Apple Genius representative, and I'm not saying that sarcastically, they're actually called Genius representatives. Mm-hmm. Saying that, well, how can you exclude liquid when you advertise that it can fall in a pool and be fine? And actually, that's exactly what one of the senior VPs at Apple, Phil Schiller, says if you're IP68, so that's how Apple certifies them, that means that it's protected up to 2 meters or up to 30 minutes. So if you happen to be hanging by the pool, drop your phone in the water, don't worry, dive in, grab it, rinse it, let it dry, you'll be fine. And in the case of my client and many people who have contacted our office, they're not fine, and they are forced. So Apple refuses to fix it, and the only remedy is to buy a brand new phone.
And so this is the thing, right? Because I've heard this story time and time again. They see the liquid contact thing, that red dots show up, they will not service a phone. And obviously, you're making the case here on all the marketing. And we're not talking about the latest iPhones either, right? This is a claim that Apple has been making for a long time.
So since the iPhone 7, they've certified that their phones are IP68 resistant or IP68 certified. And they've repeated these representations, time and time again since 2018. So that would be the launch of the iPhone 7 or so. And what's interesting in Quebec, and I think candidly where they're cooked in Quebec, is that the law says that the marketing forms part of a consumer contract. And declarations made by the representative of a company also form part of the contract. So you essentially have a contract that says your phone is oops resistant, you can drop it in the pool and you'll be fine, only to come a few paragraphs later and say liquid contact voids your warranty. So you have two contradictory clauses in a consumer contract, which again, according to the law, has to be interpreted in favor of the consumer or the adherent. And what we're asking the court to do is A, compensate people who are in this situation, and B, declare, in Quebec at least, that part of the exclusion of the contract void.
So, it's not lost in me that in the past, Apple has been dinged in this province by the Consumer Protection Agency over their warranty and Apple Care, right? And I know I've gone to Apple stores where they now actually post that, hey, in Quebec, you are covered by the Consumer Protection Act, and it's, you should be checking that out here. But it seems like Apple has changed their Apple Care warranty in the last few years to focus on accidental damage. Do you think part of this is because they want to get people to pay, I think it's like $200 or $250 for that accidental coverage for those oops moments?
So very, very good point. That's something we're going to obviously have to look at once we get to discovery, but I think just common sense would suggest that it's correct. So what the representative told my client was, well, do you have Apple Care? And it was actually done both in the store, and her father called Apple's representative. It was escalated to the senior manager, and they kept on saying, well, this is why, it's exactly what you just said. This is why you should have purchased Apple Care. And had you purchased Apple Care for $200, then you would have still had to pay $99 to repair the phone. So this class includes even people who had Apple Care and were forced to pay $99 under Apple Care to replace their phone that came in water contact, because it should not be excluded. You cannot show a picture of a phone in a car wash, in a shower, in a pool, or under in a pitcher of beer and tell people, oh, we're sorry, we're excluding liquid contact. That's fraud. I mean, This is the definition of fraud.
Okay, so that's it seems like it's going to be an interesting case as it moves forward. Can I ask you, Apple's not the only smartphone brand out there. In Canada, they've got about 60% of the market, but there are Android phones and a plethora of manufacturers there. Do you think that some of these other manufacturers may be doing the same thing?
Look, when we filed this case, the facts with Apple, like the Apple contract and the Apple marketing were egregious to us. So we did look at what some of the others were doing, and we didn't see the facts being the same or as strong. In other words, showing the phone could be put in a pool and then refusing it. So our claims are against Apple. And if anybody wants to be included in this case or to let us know that they've been in a similar experience, we invite them to sign up on our website, which is lpclex.com/Apple Liquid.
There you go. Yeah, lpclex.com, and you'll be able to find the Apple Liquid claim quite easily when you get there. Okay, Joey, listen, good luck in the big fight against you take on the Giants. No small potatoes for you. Always going after the Giants. Good luck.
Thank you.
That's Joey Zukran, class action attorney.